It's homecoming on this episode of The Quad. Lady Lily back with another video, and tonight's video, which is super late, but I want to get it done before I go to bed. This episode is episode 9, which is the season finale of season 1 of The Quad. So let's begin, shall we? So the shows open up with Eva dancing on a pole. It was a dream. It was a metaphor. So apparently she's dancing on a pole and she's trying to get the money that's being presented to her, but she has a situation which she can't grab it. And it was funny because it was like her soon-to-be ex-husband. It was Six Pack in the audience. It was Dr. Periwinkle, Calvin was in the audience, amongst with some other people. And they was just throwing money to her. Yeah, let me calm my head down. Throwing money to her. And, yeah, it's like she seemed to not grasp the dollars. And I think that was a dream of her, just saying she's really trying to get this money for the university, but she's jumping through all those hurdles. That's what I took from it. Meanwhile, Cecil has checked himself out of the hospital. He, didn't want to be in there any longer. Homecoming is coming up, and of course, if the band is going to prepare, he needs to, get his life. So Noni came. She's bringing him the box back. And he said, so what are you bringing this back for? She said she thinks she completed that task. She's moving on to new tasks and challenges. And they had a dialogue and she went on her way. So it shoots to Sid. Sid is in the class. I guess it's a math class. Apparently him and another classmate did extremely well. So Sid is finding his way back into the groove at GAMU. So he did very well on the math test, or it was a midterm math test. He scored like one of the highest scores in the class, and he also got the bonus question right. So him and another classmate, which is a young lady, she talks to him afterwards. She said you should consider, volunteering, tutoring math to kids at this elementary school that she works at. And he said he wasn't really up to tutoring. That's not his thing. He's not a teacher. But eventually what happens is he goes and he shows up to help out. So he's making a connection with the students and showing them a unique way to teach math. Then all of a sudden they show two little kids getting into it. One of the young boys said that the other young boy stole his money. So like Sid stepped to him because the kid apparently is cursing and being disrespectful to Sid. So Sid, like hem him up a little bit, and the classmate's like, no, stop. I thought you had common sense. And he said, I do, but I thought you'll use common sense as well. So he walked off. He was pretty ticked off about that situation. So moving on, Sydney is back, guys. She's back on campus, and she's really ready to work with that sexual assault group. Her and Madison are set to go with this young lady. I guess they're gonna go to protest, which led us to the football team. The football team, they're having a meeting. Terrence is trying to, rally the team up to get hyped because homecoming is coming up. And, his teammates are starting to question him. He's like, man, what's up with these allegations? You ain't been real with us. And so Terrence, take offense to it. And they was like, yeah, we want to know, you never told us the truth, or you never told us your side of the story. So Terrence is feeling like they had some doubts. They kind of had some doubts about him being their leader, and is he really a rapist. From there, it goes to the homecoming banquet. Now, this is Eva's first homecoming, as they say, her first black homecoming. The football team, this is the first time in a decade that the football team has been eligible to go to a bowl game. And when you're eligible to go to a bowl game, that means you did exceptionally well. Terrence get up with some little petty statement about how the team means so much to him, and he got something to say. He was interrupting the coach's prayer. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of women, Sydney, Madison, and the crew, bust out saying, "I did not consent." They take over the banquet. They take over the little banquet. Hold on, because I'm trying to get my notes. They come out the banquet yelling, "I did not consent." I'm sure it's Sydney, the other woman that's probably that was assaulted, raped. And then it's other young women that joined them from the awareness group. And even the homecoming queen stood up and said, "I did not consent." Of course, the Eva didn't say nothing. She let it ride. And the police came in, security, and shoot them out, which led to them doing several press conferences. The press conference started out with Eva at first. Then it went to Terrence's lawyer. She was saying Terrence is too distraught to speak out. And, if Eva thought Cedric wasn't guilty for murder, why is she not believing Terrence shouldn't be, not guilty for sexual assault? Well, I'm going to tell you why, because her daughter was involved. And then it shows over to Sydney. And, she's explaining her story to the press. She's pretty much telling them, I was drunk. I was under the influence. I'm a survivor and I'm taking responsibilities for my action. And I wish the person, Terrence, would stand up and just be a man. Be a human and, stand and take responsibility for his actions. So it goes back over to Sid. Sid comes back to the school. He apologizes to his classmates. She said, okay. And that's pretty much the end of that part. Next we see Noni. Noni goes to visit because, Ebony's been hanging out in Bryce and Sid's room from time to time. So Noni goes and to explain to her pretty much. It was like her way of, she really didn't apologize, but she was just trying to say that even though she felt like, Ebony may feel like she betrayed her, her goal was to get in the band to, to seek revenge. And she was just telling Ebony how all her life she was picked on and bullied at the school. And then coming to college really gave her a chance, to meet her, develop friendship. They had the same likes in music. They had the same goals of becoming part of the band. So Noni does reveal what she did. She said that she took pictures off. She took the drum major's phone, took pictures of the sheet music and sent it to the band director at the other school. She goes on to say that, the drum major is always, misplacing his phone, leaving his phone or doing whatever. So when he left it to the side one day, that was her opportunity to take the sheet music and take a picture. And she said that's how she sought revenge by, Ebony said you would even, stab your, so-called mentor in the back. So, Ebony did also express, how, her struggles in rebuilding, how many surgeries she had to have. And they pretty much make amends and they hug. And it was just like Noni's way of saying how she missed Ebony's friendship. And now Ebony gets the gist, like she didn't get on the band to portray her. She got on the band to, seek revenge, get back at them, of how they did Ebony. So moving on, Eva is still messing with Six Pack. It's like he just comes and goes. Like he'll be around for a few episodes, then he disappear. So Eva is still messing with Six Pack. Apparently he wants to know more about her life and her day-to-day with her job. And she tells him about the situation with Jason from the game. Is trying to help her get money, but they're going through this audit, and apparently if the audit goes through, she gets the money. If the audit doesn't go through, she doesn't get the money. If she don't really pull in this revenue stuff, she might be the next female president to get fired. So Six Pack pretty much tell her, it's not that he want to help this university so bad, it's that he want to get in your pants. So she ups and walks away, and she said, you need to get dressed and get out. So as she gets up and walk out, Jason looks at her phone, and he see that's a text message from her lawyer saying that her husband pretty much signed the divorce paper, and the divorce is about to be settled and final. Eva goes to confront Calvin about the findings of the audit. She's saying there was some misappropriations of funds, and apparently that is coming from the president's account. And then she threatened him to pretty much say, you know what, we can dig, I'll have this crew, dig far back to make sure that you included in some of this stuff. And he was saying, don't be blinded by, Jason from the game. Pretty much, it's a reason we don't deal with him and his money. And he said, you're gonna learn the hard way. So of course she took off. The drum major, he reemerges. He talks to Caesar about wanting his position. He don't want to be off the band. He want to finish up this last year. Now here's the downfall. He said that he delayed his graduation for a whole nother year to serve. He delayed his graduation so he can have another year as a drum major. Why would you do that? I mean, I don't get it. Who don't want to graduate on time or early? But this fool is going to say he stayed, literally deferred his degree getting to stay to be a drum major. I mean, you getting paid? I mean, I know you getting some scholarship, but go do some music elsewhere. Go get a master's degree. Why are you delaying your graduation? And he pretty much was upset with Caesar, and then he was saying, you must not never lost something. And he said, Caesar said, I lost a lot. And he said, well, you must not lost nothing that was really close to you. Next comes Terrence. Terrence comes to talk to Coach, and Coach asks about did he, ask Sydney if he can kiss her. He asked, did the other girl, did he ask, consent for the other girl? And the coach said, he knows there was other girls. And he said, maybe I didn't ask the right questions. And he said, Coach pretty much allured to the fact that he knows Terrence did it, and he knows Sydney and this other girl were not the only girls involved. So he pretty much said, you better go clean out your locker. Let me look at my notes. He said, you better get your ass out of my office before I end up in jail. He said, I'm going to repeat it one more time. You better get your ass out the office before I end up going to jail. So GAMU won their football game, and pretty much since Terrence is on the outs, Bojan is the quarterback. They didn't show the game or anything, but they showed Junior, Tanisha, and Bojan celebrating. Apparently, Bojan threw 3 touchdown passes, and they won the game. And so Tanisha had noticed that his dad did not come. And her and Junior was saying, they're his new family now. And he was like, wait a minute, my dad is still my dad. He was at every practice. He was at every game. He groomed me. He nurtured me. And he encouraged me the best he knew how to play the sports of football. So he don't want to rule his dad out just yet. But Tanisha and Junior are pretty much telling him, they're their family now. And he just need to move on from it and don't worry about daddy. So Six Pack asked Eva to marry him. Eva said, he said, I understand you just got a divorce, but she said she don't think she ever want to get married again. Jason thinks, Six Pack, but his Six Pack name is Jason. He thinks it's because she wants to be with the stripper man. And she said, no, that's not it. So he get mad. And he storms off, and he said, you're going to regret this. I got a bad feeling about this, y'all. I got a feeling Six Pack finna do some dirt. We should see. So that's a cliffhanger. Cliffhanger number 1. So he pretty much is like, yeah, it's on. So watch out for next season. I think Six Pack finna do a dirt move. So said classmate ends up coming to visit him in his dorm room. And apparently, you know, I figured it was more to it because just the way she was looking at him and peeping his stilo, I figured it was more to it than just her wanting him to volunteer. So they end up, she kissed him, he kissed her back. So they end up getting it on and popping. And she was just like into it. Then she gonna tell him go slow. And then he talking about something. I got you. So homecoming continues. It looked like they was getting ready for a yard show. It might have been a step show or outdoor festival or concert. They didn't really say what events it was. So Eva was briefing with her secretary, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, some shots fire off. And you hear a young lady calling the campus police, and she pretty much is telling them that there's a guy in the staircase that just shot himself. And they show the campus police showing up to the scene, and it is Terrence laying in a pile of blood. Apparently, Terrence has committed suicide. He has shot himself in the head. And then one of the police officers say, "Oh, that's the quarterback, Terrence." They was like, wow, such a waste. And then they, I guess they get ready to do whatever they do. So meanwhile, Coach Hardwick gets a call, and I guess it's someone telling them what Terrence pretty much did. And he just took it kind of hard, and you just hear him say, "Lord Jesus." So that's it. That's how it ends. Don't know when the quad season is scheduled to come back on, but we do got a couple of cliffhangers. Cliffhanger number one. Well, I said it was only one cliffhanger, but it's two cliffhangers. Well, three cliffhangers. Number one, what's going to be the situation with this audit? Because Eva is already onto this onto the former president and on to Periwinkle about some ain't right with them books. So that's thing number one. And then, you know, how is the Jason from the game tied into that? Number two cliffhanger is Six Pack. Six Pack look like he gonna have a modem out to get Eva. So that's another cliffhanger. And then cliffhanger number three is what is gonna be the aftermath with this whole Terrence shooting himself. You know, what's going to happen with Bo John and his family, and, you know, how is Sydney going to move forward from this? So that's a couple of cliffhangers, but that is it. That is all. I hope you have enjoyed my series of reviews for The Quad. I think it was definitely a good show. As a person that works at a university, I could definitely relate to the things that were going on in terms of universities needing money, trying to mingle with donors, and just, you know, day-to-day functions and issues that a university may encounter. So was definitely relatable. Looking forward to the next season. So I am thinking about doing the reviews for the show, The Housewives of Potomac. Guys, come on and let me know at the bottom. Should I do it? Please go on the bottom and just say yes or no. But I think I want to do them as like maybe the next TV review. Empire's already 2 weeks in, so I don't think I can catch up to do Empire. As well as Greenleaf, and with them, I'm glad the Quad is off now, so I don't have to conflict with the Quad and Greenleaf. Now I can watch just Empire at 8, Greenleaf at 9, but I think I want to focus on the Housewife because it shows on a Sunday. I think it'd be more feasible for me to get the reviews up in a timely manner, but that is it. That is all. Stay tuned for more videos. The Purse YouTube anniversary is officially closed. I'll be shooting that video in the next day. If you are a subscriber, thanks for stopping through. If you're not a subscriber, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. That is it. That's all. Peace.